Oh, yeah. Welcome back to Catrick and McGinnis on Tap. Well, it's probably good that John's out of the country because my Kennesaw State University Owls have made it to the national championship in the men's golf. The second-place finish in the Auburn Regional, the highest showing at Kennesaw State in a regional. Previous best was a third-place finish back in 2011. The men's golf coach at Kennesaw State University joins us right now, Jay Moseley. Jay, go Owls.
Go Owls, Brian. We're excited.
Dude, I was jacked up getting all the scoring updates, watching you guys. How many teams were there, and how many teams advanced out of the regionals into the nationals?
At our regional site, Brian, there were 14 teams, and the top 5 teams from that regional advanced. So there were 6 regionals across the country, 5 teams at each one advanced to get 30 teams at nationals.
So 30 teams in total now, but 5 teams, 5 out of 14. So most of the teams obviously were going home. This wasn't the other way around. You guys were not one of the top 5 ranked teams in there. And the whole week you're just kind of hanging around, and all of a sudden, second place. Look, I know you got a lot of pride in your guys. Did you see this coming?
Well, we knew we had been playing really well the week leading up to regionals, and I was excited that we were on a golf course that we knew a little bit about, and I felt like we had a team that set up to play that golf course well. Certainly to come out and play the way we did and to finish second, strong testament to the guys and how well they've been playing, and we were really going to try to ride that momentum into next week.
Now, Jay, talking about the Auburn Regional at the Auburn University Golf Course, Jay played at the University of Auburn. Or is it Auburn University? It's Auburn University. You played there.
That's right.
How much? I mean, again, you could have been sent anywhere in the country. You guys get sent to the course that you played your college golf at. How much did that help?
It was pretty special. I obviously knew the golf course really well and tried to, pass on as much knowledge about the course as I could to the guys. And it really is a huge home course advantage when you know those greens because they're really, really grainy. They're really tricky, and you can really have struggles on there if you don't know what to expect and if you're seeing them for the first time. So our guys kind of knew what to expect going into it, and I think that certainly helped. Second
ever NCAA championships appearance. The first was back in 2011. Were you coaching? You were coaching then, weren't you?
That's right.
How about that? So you've taken the team to both of their national championships. What did you learn that week in Stillwater, Oklahoma, that you can use next week?
Well, I've got 5 guys that were not a part of that team, so it's a new experience with 5 new guys in the lineup. What we learned in 2011 is that we've got to be consistent for 3 days to play with the best teams in the country because we had one round where we played really well and we competed, and then 2 other rounds where we didn't play as well and just did not get up to the consistency of some of the other teams. And that's what we're going to try to do this week is just play our game and be consistent and try to play as well as we possibly can.
Jay Moseley, our guest. He's the men's golf coach at Kennesaw State University, part of the Atlantic Sun Conference. The Atlantic Sun put a conference record 4 teams into the NCAA regionals. It makes more sense than you might think because the Atlantic Sun is a bunch of good weather cities.
That's right.
It's a bunch of great places to play golf.
Absolutely. It's a conference based in the Southeast, and getting good weather is a big part of recruiting and players wanting to play where they get good weather and can play year round. So that's a big part of it.
Yeah. That's fantastic. So you guys are one of the topics. I mean, you got a national championship on the line. I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to jinx it. But you guys could be the national. We could be talking to the national championship winning coach right now. Have you allowed yourself to think about that yet?
I'm certainly not going to think too far out ahead. So we'll just take it one day at a time and one step at a time.
Well, let me help you with your speech. I've got some people that you probably don't think. Something earlier we talked about. One of the reasons why that could happen, the Cinderella stories in college golf, is we talked about this in the first hour. The idea that you play stroke play all year long, and then all of a sudden you get to the national championship level and you play a couple of days of stroke play, and then it's cut to match play. 30 teams start, 8 teams get to match play. So that some of the big schools have said that benefits the little guy. What do you think about the format for the NCAA championship?
I think it's a great format. Whether you like it or not, I think is a complete mindset because you're still playing golf, and obviously in match play, you're more or less playing the person and not the golf course. But you're still playing golf. The low score still wins. I think you just have to, match play, stroke play. If you're playing well, I think either format suits a team that's playing well. And so I don't think it carries a huge burden of changing the outcome or changing, giving someone an advantage. But certainly if you're playing well, you're just looking for an opportunity to go out and prove yourself and have a chance to win.
I don't think you have to look any farther than Kelby Burton, who junior on your Kennesaw State University Owls team, shot 67 in the second round of the regionals.
Right.
That was obviously one of the 4 scores that you used. The next day, he was the drop score.
Right.
And that's what you get with kids. It's a bit of an emotional roller coaster. How do you balance all that?
Well, absolutely. And guys, some days have it, and some days they struggle, and that's part of the consistency that we talk about. But definitely in the stroke play portion, you have the, I guess you can say, the freedom to have that drop score and have one guy that you can kind of hide and not play so well. It doesn't affect the team, but in match play, all 5 guys are counting, and you can't hide anyone, and so it helps to have a team that's laid out pretty consistently, and where all 5 guys can contribute. Because in match play, every point is critical, and every point is important.
Our guest is Jay Moseley. He's the head men's golf coach at Kennesaw State University. KSUOwls.com. Go Owls! One of the 30 teams that will be competing for the NCAA championship, and it's next week, and it's going to be on the Golf Channel. It's going to be
That's correct.
Going to be televised. I told this story earlier. I talked to Al earlier today, and I told it earlier in the show about the trip to Prairie Dunes. It's hard to believe that you can't get anywhere direct from Atlanta, because it seems like you can get anywhere direct from Atlanta. But you guys are kind of taking the circuitous route to Prairie Dunes. But I guess that's how you get there, isn't it?
Well, we just want to get there. It doesn't matter how we get there, but we'll be there at the end of the week, and looking forward to a great golf course. I've never seen it, never been there, but I've heard nothing but really, really awesome things about Prairie Dunes. So I'm looking forward to it. Great Perry Maxwell design, and it should be a real treat for our team.
One of the other things that happens at the national championship, at least last year, was they had a different pace of play policy put in.
Correct.
And they had the AJGA checkpoint system was what they were using, and it made headlines. It had an impact in who made it to match play and who didn't. Yeah,
it certainly did. That's correct.
What do you tell your guys about getting ready? I mean, you got to get ready for so much that's new. I mean, this has got to be head spinning for them. But what do you tell them about pace of play? How does that work for you guys?
Well, fortunately, we did have the same pace of play policy input for regional play, so the guys were accustomed to it, and we've got a pretty quick team, Brian, so I'm not overly concerned with it. We do talk about it before the tournament begins, regionals and at nationals, but they understand what the policy is, and they understand how it works and everything, and you just have to be conscious of where you are in relation to the group in front of you, and you can't be worried about the time aspect of it, but you just got to be ready to play when it's your turn, and try to play ready golf, and just continue to keep the pace. And I think we certainly have seen some improvements with pace of play through college golf, but it can certainly get better as well.
All right, let's brag on the guys. Let's talk about your team. Tell me about the 5 guys. We talked about Kelby Burton. I'm assuming he's going to make the trip. Tell me about the 5 guys that are going to the national championship. Yeah,
the same 5 guys are going to travel with us to nationals that went to regionals. We've got 3 juniors, including Kelby, Jimmy Beck, who's been our number 1 player all year. Just an incredible, consistent ball striker, one of the best putters I've ever seen. Really is a solid player with every club in his bag. And then Austin Vick, another junior who's played almost every event for us this year. He's a big hitter and can putt it really, really well. So I'm excited about the leadership of those guys and the experience that those guys have had all year for us. And 2 freshmen will make the trip. Terramona Bocuzin from all the way from the little island of Tahiti. Just an incredible ball striker, really solid player, and he's playing as well as anybody on the team right now. He's had a great spring season for us. and then finally a little lefty from Atlanta, Chris Guillermo. So excited about these guys, and they're playing really well, and excited to go to Prairie Dunes with them.
3 juniors and 2 freshmen. You know what that means?
That means everybody's back.
Everybody's coming back next year. Yeah, baby. That's really obviously a coach's dream. It's good news. You guys are one of the little stories. I saw Joe Inman's Georgia State Panthers made it as well.
That's right.
4 teams from Georgia making it. I mean, obviously we got a little bit of pride going here, but they're another one of the little guys. Do you think one of the little schools has a chance to do what Augusta State did in back-to-back years?
Well, Brian, I think, and you hear a lot of the folks that cover college golf regularly talk about this. The landscape of college golf has changed so much in the time that I've been coaching in the last really 6 to 10 years, I would say, that you used to have really 10, maybe 15 teams that could play at a very, very high level year in and year out. And now I think that number has been pushed all the way up to 30 or 40, where you've got really a larger number of teams that can really, if they have a great week, they have the ability to win if their players all kind of feel good together. And college golf is a game where if everybody kind of gets on a roll, it's just kind of a feeding frenzy. And so if you get some guys playing well, it just kind of you get a high confidence, going through the team, and that confidence is all the difference in the world for players that are playing at a high level.
Jay, I'm proud of you. Congratulations!
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're making us proud. It's going to be awesome to watch. We're going to get a chance to watch it next week on Golf Channel up at Prairie Dunes. Jay, congratulations. Best of luck. And, I'll write some notes for you. I'll get them to you if you need them.
I appreciate that, Brian.
You got it. That is Jay Moseley, men's golf coach at Kennesaw State, KSUOwls.com. Go Owls. They practice up there at Pine Tree. I did the show from Pine Tree just a couple days ago. That's right next to the campus, and they're one of the 30 teams that advanced. Here are the teams that advanced, by the way, to the finals, if you want to know if your school is one of them that will be playing for a national championship next week. Alabama, Georgia Tech, Georgia, Stanford, Oklahoma State, California, Illinois, Washington, Houston rounds out the top 10, Texas A&M, Texas, Virginia Tech, Vanderbilt at 15, University of Alabama, Birmingham, LSU, UCLA, Oklahoma, South Carolina is 20th. Auburn, who is there at their own golf course, finished 21st. They will move on. Arkansas, Florida State, USC, SMU, Kentucky, Kennesaw State, Iowa State, Oregon, Missouri, Georgia State, and Purdue. Those are the 30 teams moving on. I mentioned that Auburn was 21st. That was the rank. That was their ranking when the week started. So there are teams outside the top 30 that advanced. SMU, Kentucky, Kennesaw State, Iowa State. All these guys were outside the top 30 in the rankings, and they played their way in. There were obviously some teams that got bounced out. There were 8 teams that were inside the top 30 that got bounced out. And, of course, I got to thank Golf Week for all their coverage of this. They've got the best college golf coverage out there. UCF, Virginia, New Mexico, Baylor, Arizona State, UNLV, Clemson, and South Florida. Those were all teams that were inside the top 30 that did not make it through. I don't think that doesn't sound like it's any different than any other year with a lot of action in the NCAA. That's why they play the regionals. That's why they don't just go according to the rankings. They play these events, and in this case, 8 teams got bounced, which means 8 teams get to go in. A lot of the favorites get to continue. Defending national champion Alabama, the number 1 seed coming in. They are the number 1 seed heading to the national championship. Thanks to Jay Moseley, KSUOwls.com. We will hear the Tiger Woods interview again a little bit later on. We'll take your calls on college golf if you got them, 866-469-0026. And when we come back, I will go through, actually, we're going to talk to Gene Fieger, who is playing up the Senior PGA Championship. He is the reigning Senior PGA National Champion, and he is playing up there the Senior PGA Championship this week. So we'll hear from him. I'm going to find out where Gene Fieger played his college golf. We're back with more after this. Don't go away.